Even though Avatar: The Last Airbender is widely regarded as not just one of the greatest animated television shows of all time, but one of the greatest television shows of its entire era, animated or otherwise, the romantic pairing at the center of the show, Aang and Katara, has proved divisive. There are those who like this pairing, and I am happy for them. Really, I am. Then there are those who are indifferent to this pairing, which is reasonable, as Avatar: The Last Airbender is not primarily, or even secondarily, a show about romance. But then there are those who are unsettled by this pairing, and this is a reasonable response, as Katara herself seems unsettled by it. In the last episode before the 4-part finale, Sozin's Comet, that episode being the Ember Island Players, Aang kisses Katara, and she looks genuinely uncomfortable. She says she does not know what she wants. She says these are complicated times and she has a lot on her mind. But in the series finale, they share a kiss in the last scene of this episode, and it is supposed to be this grand romantic moment. But it falls kind of flat for me because there is no real indication as to why Katara wants this. They could have explained this, but they didn't, and this, combined with how the show never seriously forces Aang to reconsider his naivete in regards to romantic matters, have led a large contingent of the fandom to support the pairing of Zutara, or Katara and Zuko. Aang is a child. I mean, yes, technically they're all children, but Aang is 12, and he acts significantly younger than Katara. Not just in terms of how excitable he can be and how he is unwilling to think out a lot of situations ahead of time, but also in regards to how he never really contemplates who Katara is as a person. He just sees her as the object of his desire, does not really consider her beyond his personal perspective. In contrast, the maturity of Katara and Zuko compared to the rest of Team Avatar, coupled with their more serious outlooks on life and their similar strategies with dealing with pain and trauma, and considering how much of their character growth is inextricable from the growth in their relationship, with them starting off as people who hate each other and then slowly growing closer as they learn that the other person is less one-dimensional than they had originally thought. All of this has contributed to people yearning for the pairing to happen. My question is this: what if the pairing did actually happen? Obviously, I'm not arguing that they got married and had kids. The Legend of Korra pretty definitively rules that out. Aang and Katara got married and had 3 kids: Kaya, Bumi, and Korra's mentor Tenzin. And there is no reason to believe the 2 of them got divorced. But is it impossible to believe that she had a secret relationship with Zuko? I don't necessarily think so. The 2 of them have a tender connection in the caves beneath Ba Sing Se in the Season 2 finale, The Crossroads of Destiny. It is quite difficult, I think, to read this scene outside a romantic, or at least romance-adjacent context. After they have had a long and heartfelt discussion in which Zuko has dispelled Katara's prejudices about him, Katara offers to heal the scar on Zuko's face, to which Zuko responds that this is not possible. But then Katara reveals that she has water with special healing properties from the Spirit Oasis. Zuko thinks this would be a wonderful thing if she could heal his face, and then she places a hand on his face, and the music swells. It's an earnest, unguarded moment, fueling not entirely unjustified speculation that had the scene continued, they would have kissed. But it did not continue. Zuko, later in the episode, betrays Team Avatar, and Katara takes this betrayal very personally, as she was the one who gave Zuko a second chance despite his past mistakes. There are two distinct temporal stretches during which Zutara could have happened. The first is after Katara forgives Zuko at the end of the fabulously written and genuinely ambiguous episode 316, The Southern Raiders, and the second stretch is sometime after the end of the series. Let us consider the first possibility, well, first. While it is true that Katara's behavior toward him after she forgives him is not explicitly romantic, it certainly is warm and tender and affectionate, even compared to her treatment toward the rest of the group. Unlike Aang, who belittled her decision at first, and only later said that he supported the idea of her confronting the man who killed her father, Zuko is the one who convinces her that this idea is possible, that she can confront him, that she does not have to stay in the fog of these demons of the past. Regarding why Katara has not looked for this man before, you could say that she just does not have the information, but I'm not sure that idea really holds up under scrutiny. The only information Zuko directly gives her regarding who killed her mother is that the ravens that were on the flag of the ship that had the people who killed her parents, that those ravens symbolize the Southern Raiders. This is not very specific information. I mean, it's not information that an ordinary Joe in the Fire Nation would have, but it is not like super top secret stuff. I'm sure they could have found that out from a lot of different places. Zuko doesn't even know where the ship is. They have to break in just to discover that. Katara could have done that by herself, had she the desire to. And not just the desire, the feeling that it's justified, that it's right, that it is okay for her to want this. Their journey from the South Pole to the end of the show, Sozin's Comet, is about 9 months. It starts sometime in late fall, before the winter solstice, and it ends before the end of summer, or right around the end of summer, which would be about September or so our time. So about 9 or 10 months. That is not a lot of time considering everything that happens, but it is more than enough time for Katara to rough up some random Fire Nation goons and get information on the people who killed her mother. I mean, she roughs up some people just to get information on the Earth Rumble tournament in Season 2. And this is far more important to her than the Earth Rumble. What she was lacking was not really information, it was clearance, moral clearance. Katara has mothered her brother since her actual mother died, and she has been the mother figure in Team Avatar since its inception. So she is not supposed to divert from this responsible role, but Zuko gives her permission to do so. And it's not even about this issue in particular, although this is very important to Katara. Looking on a larger scale, it's that he genuinely considers what she needs and what is bothering her, and he wants to help her. Sure, he's doing this for arguably selfish reasons, to convince her to accept him, but even that's not entirely selfish. I mean, he doesn't need her acceptance, unlike Aang. Katara has already said she would go along with having him in the group, but he very much values her opinion, in large part because she gave him that chance back in Ba Sing Se. and he wants to convince her to really believe in him. No, she does not demonstrate any romantic interest in him during this time period. But then again, she does not really demonstrate any romantic interest in Aang during this time period either. There is exactly one time before the finale wherein she expresses explicit romantic interest in him, and that is at the end of the Cave of Two Lovers. And it's when, number one, they're about to die, and number two, in one of the least essential, most critically panned episodes of the show. It's not exactly anyone's favorite, except for hardcore Katara and Aang shippers. From the point at which Katara forgives Zuko to the end of the series, Katara's interactions with Zuko are warmer than Katara's interactions with Aang. The two of them are comfortable with each other. Based on what little we know about Katara's wants and desires, it would have made as much sense for her to track down Zuko and kiss him at the end of the show as it does for her to kiss Aang. The only reason the writing team behind Avatar does not think this strange is that they analyzed it primarily from Aang's point of view. Based on the tenderness in Katara's interactions with Zuko, I don't think it's absurd to imagine her kissing him sometime after they defeated Azula. Based on the state of Zuko's recovery, there are likely months that pass between the defeat of the Fire Lord and the scene in the Jasmine Dragon. Is it too hard to believe that Katara kissed Zuko, then Zuko told her about May, and Katara decided to go with Aang instead? Alternatively, consider after the ending of the series. Aang has his Avatar duties, which means the burden of raising the kids, especially the two of them who are not Airbenders, mostly falls on Katara. Is it too hard to believe that, even though Katara agreed to this situation, she might have a little resentment toward it? As far as we know, she is the only member of Team Avatar who does not have a statue in The Legend of Korra. Would it be so wrong for Katara to respond to this storm of resentment by kissing Zuko? Not an extended affair, of course not. I mean, I don't imagine Katara as being the kind of person who would regularly commit infidelity in marriage, but just a kiss or two. And some sweet words. And the two of them swapping tales of the past after Katara's kids are in bed. Just enough to remind Katara of that summer day in the catacombs of Ba Sing Se, when her perception of Zuko was changed forever. So thank you all for watching. If you liked what you saw today, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Donate to my Patreon if you can, and you want to see more videos like this. Keep watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. It is such a smart show. So thoughtful and empathetic and mature. It really does get better with every rewatch. Anyway, tune in soon for my next analysis. It will be coming soon. Thank you all again. Adios, comrades.